Guys, I don't want to be this guy, but I have to pee.
Oh my god.
You know what? I'll hold it in. Here we go.
No.
It should make the reading so much better.
You're going to be like rushing toward the end. Like at the end, he's like, and Danny has to, oh God, I gotta go.
Like a cascading waterfall. They left. Ooh, that did not help. Okay, hold on. Welcome back to New Script on the Block. My name is Nero, and I'm joined by my co-hostings, my hostins. Yeah, introduce yourselves, guys.
Oh, you don't want to say it for us?
He like half intros. That's the Nero version.
just
usual.
halfway in, the usual group. Which consists of Alyssa Eshelman, Graham Pritchard, and Ashley Hakes. Okay? There, I did it.
See?
Great. He does know our names.
Yeah, good.
I had to Facebook that real quick. I'm like, oh crap. I had to visit ArizonaStudios.com for more information about the studio and who works there. Please visit Arizona.
I'm not on there yet.
Oh crap. Anyway, we're taking a look at the Midsommar script. We're taking a look at the script written by Ari Aster.
Yeah.
Ari Aster, yeah.
I think this is a pretty spoiler-heavy scene, so I just wanted to put that out there. If anyone hasn't seen Midsommar and still wants to, don't go watch it first and then check this episode out.
Oh
Unless
man.
you really like spoilers.
Guys, I need to sit this one out.
You were never gonna watch this movie. Come on.
You don't know me.
Anyway, we are going to be reading an excerpt of Midsommar, and we're going to look at a clip and kind of compare the two, the script and the clip. Should we jump right into it then?
Please, we're on page 53.
Exterior, beach, same time. Everyone looks up the cliff's peak. Danny is sweating beads. Now they're being erratic.
Is that how you're actually reading? Hold on.
You're totally not gonna keep that up the whole time.
Finally, Eva appear at the edge. Wrapped silence. Eva stands there for a long time. No, I should keep it up, or
I'm gonna have to mute my mic if you keep it up.
never mind. I'll read normally. Okay, exterior beach, same time. Everyone looks up at the cliff's peak. Danny is sweating beads now, her breathing erratic. Finally, Eva appear at the edge. Wrapped silence. Eva stands there for a long time. Mesmerized, Josh steps closely to the side, away from Danny and Christian, to get a better look. His eyes are glued to the cliff top. Eva, having now summoned a total confidence, assumes a grand pose, twisting her arms and legs into a standing fetal position and extending her neck, head into a glorious reach for the heavens. This pose represents a final statement. Danny braces herself. Her teeth begin to chatter. She grabs Christian's arm, and then Eva leaps off the percival. Connie and Simon scream. Precipice? Sorry, precipice. Yeah. Eva leaps off the precipice. Connie and Simon scream. The woman plummets 200 feet to land fatally on the jagged rocks below. Upon impact, a flock of birds alights from a tree. Connie screams. Our group is shocked into horrified silence. Danny looks like she's been knocked out of her body. The birds fly over Danny's head, and a sudden rush courses through her. Disassociated, Danny turns to look at Connie and Simon, who are freaking out. Then, Christian points upward, redirecting Danny's dazed attention to the cliff top. Danny's eyes scan back up to see Dan, the elder whose torch burnt out before circling the house 3 times, is now stepping up to the precipice. He also strikes a pose, also reaching for the awesome, but his is slightly clumsier. He wobbles, but he holds the pose. While holding it, he turns to look down at Danny.
What's happening? Is he gonna jump too? No!
Dan launches himself off the cliff, jumping Vertically, Connie gasps. Dan plummets straight down, but his left foot lands on the large rock that killed Ilva. This obliterates his leg and sends him falling brutally to his side. Dan, unfortunately not dead, wails in horrible pain. The community grumbles with concern. Everyone turns to three men, each the oldest of their respective generations, the youths, the laborers, and the mentors. They understand what they must do.
Why did that just happen? We need to call an ambulance.
It's okay.
Oh, sorry.
We're talking on top of each other. Okay,
One
one
more
more time.
In
Why-
action.
Why did that just happen? We need to call an ambulance.
It's okay.
What's okay? Call an ambulance. Everybody's just watching.
Stan approaches the three men with the kudo. This is
Stop
a long
it.
Okay. This is a long-handled club with a pointed block of wood at the end. The kudgel is handed over to the mentor. Danny watches overwhelmed as the three men, now armed with the kugel, sorry, kudel. Kugel is a funny word.
Do you need
Anyway.
help?
No, hold on. Okay, sorry. They stalk over to Dan. The dying man moans pathetically, in too much pain to scream. From Danny's POV, the men have arrived at Dan's feet. The mentor raises the kudgel and brutally swings it down onto Dan's head. This isn't a fatal blow. The man raises the kudgel again, and this time he strikes Dan with enough force to silence him. The mentor hands the kudgel to the laborer. He raises the kudgel and brings it down onto the old man's crown. The elder's leg goes into pathetic spasms. Blood's gurgling. The laborer bludgeons him once more. Dan goes limp, probably dead. The youth is now handed the kudgel. He delivers two brutal swings to Dan's head. The mentor gently takes the kudgel away from the youth, and they all return to the community. The mentor hands Sten the kudgel, and everyone stands in respectful, contemplative silence. Danny is gripping Christian's arm. She is completely shell-shocked. Christian turns to Josh. They exchange holy shit looks, more excited than troubled. Siv bounds over to Connie and Simon, who are in a panic. Danny trembles, powder white, traumatized.
I'm sorry.
Ingemer, did you
I kind of
not warn
warned them.
Nobody did anything. Everybody just watched that. You're all just standing
oh, my
calmly
poor
around.
Things.
Jesus.
Oh, mercy, please.
Siv tries to lay an empathetic hand on Simon and Connie's shoulder, but Simon recoils.
You should have been warned better. What you just saw is a long, long, long observed custom.
Custom?
Those two men have just reached the end of their life cycle.
I just want
Alright.
to say that kugel is my new favorite word.
Yeah, I love that, like, that Eva, or whatever you were calling her, like, her name changed, like, 3 times throughout the extent of this script read.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of words changed.
I looked it up on Google, and there's like the little like learn to pronounce, and
Yeah.
it's with a K. Cudgel.
All right, let's get into the script. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is written pretty much exactly how I thought it would be.
Okay, hey, one thing that stuck out to me that was kind of weird was on page 53, kind of
Yeah.
midway through the script, it says our group is shocked into horrified silence.
Oh, like first person?
It just threw me off because it felt like the whoever is narrating is like part of whatever's going on, but maybe it's just them saying like our group as in the group we've been following.
The people we're
right?
following, yeah.
Yeah, it just threw me off.
No, I mean, I'm with
randomly.
you. It's not proper script format. That's why it threw you off.
But is it for sure not proper script format because of the other way you can take it or read that? It's for sure not proper format. Okay.
I mean, they did it, and they're professional writers, so they could do whatever they want apparently and get their movie made. So, I mean,
Ari Aster can get his movie made.
Did he write
He did
Yeah.
write
this?
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
he
to
did
know.
write and direct. And then there's also like Danny looks like she's been knocked out of her body, and that's in italicized a bit. I'm just kind of like wondering about these like nuances in the script, like
it's like the same principle we've seen across the board, right? Like when they know they're going to direct it, they almost write it like detailed to an extent that isn't traditional screenwriting because they can do whatever they want. So
and
I don't
he's
know.
also like referring back to the past. I'm sorry. Can I
Yeah, go ahead.
explain myself a little bit more on that? On the same page, when it's talking about Dan before Dan jumps off, it says Dan, the elder whose torch burns out before circling the house 3 times. Is he just referring to a past scene when he does that?
Yeah,
And are you
and I
allowed
think-
to do that, like traditionally?
No, you're not, but I think that the reason he does it is because there's so, I mean, you've watched the movie, so you know, like there's so many new characters with odd names being introduced in this film, and the first time we, honestly, like these characters don't, at least to my recollection, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we watched this scene, we watched the scenes leading up to it, and I don't think I could have told you what these two, their names are, right? Like, I don't recall them being directly introduced, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall their names
Oh
being
man,
said.
yeah. I feel like they said it like once, like during the dinner, like, or sorry, lunch or whatever time it was, since it doesn't really work so normally in the movie.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
when they're
that-
having that festival thing.
Yeah. I think that it doesn't, like, I think that the reason he goes out of his way to bring up the past is so that the reader knows who he's referring to, because there's just so many different people being introduced and who have very brief parts.
And I guess he put it where he put it instead of like in the beginning, because we know this is his time to jump. I'm guessing that's would be a good place to put it, right?
I don't know. I mean, this is written the same way I feel about the movie. I'm like, it's long. There's so much being said, and yet I don't understand any of it.
Yeah. And this is a
it's
really
also
drawn
kind
out
of-
scene.
Oh, for sure,
Oh.
for sure.
Even the writing is drawn out. Like, I just feel like for so long, like there's so much body text here that is like could easily be trimmed down just to drag out what's going on, which is exactly how the scene feels.
Yeah, at least he's like adding spaces between the paragraphs. You know, he's trying to break it up, but he's trying to get away with it. Ari Aster's like, if I hit enter, that way it doesn't look like a giant chunk.
Thanks, Ari. Thanks for that.
And I also think it's like I don't know if the term spoon feeding is the correct term I want to use, but at the bottom
I think
of
it's
page
one of the terms
53.
you could.
Yeah, the on the bottom of page 3, when he's like talking about everyone turns to the 3 men, each the oldest in their respective generations, and then like in parentheses he just explains it. It's so explainy. But I guess because of the nature of this being so alien to Danny and her friends, maybe it makes sense.
Mhm.
And maybe
No,
for a
it
reader.
doesn't.
Okay. Go ahead and explain. What do
Well, look,
you mean?
sorry.
Melissa, why doesn't it make
I'm just saying that we as the reader don't need to know any of this, right? Like, there's a ton of shit thrown in here that's just like, here's something about the culture that is totally irrelevant to what we're seeing on screen, but just in case you missed it. And it's like, I don't fucking care. Can we get back to the story and the actual characters?
Whoa.
Like, what's happening?
Whoa.
The script makes me
Pop
angry as
off,
the movie.
Alyssa, damn. What else grinds your gears? Let's use this platform for you, Alyssa. Just go ahead and rip this script a new one.
I mean, look, I just think that it's so bulky, and again, like, you're describing things we don't even see on screen that don't play a major relevance to what's going on per se, that are just like interesting factoids.
Yeah, I get it. It is drawn out, and I mean, Kugel is said a lot, and especially
Like,
on page
a lot.
54. Yeah, it's just the repetitiveness of, oh, I'm gonna hit him, and then you're gonna hit him, and then you're gonna hit him, and then he's finally dead. You know?
Yeah, well, and even the action itself works fine in the context of the scene, and that's not my problem. My problem is, like, what you said, the redundancy of using that word for that type of mallet over and over and over again. It's like, fucking call it something else for 5 seconds.
It's like
would you?
almost
Like, we're
as
tired
creepy
of
as the
reading the
movie.
same thing.
I mean, you're right, Graham. It is
Like the repetitiveness.
it's the repetitiveness is part of the movie.
All right, you guys want to watch the scene?
I mean, no, not really, but
I'm so I feel like so weirded that we might be culturally insensitive at this point.
you know, I don't think that's fair, because it's like, that's not what you came to this movie for, right? Like, that's just the truth. Like, if we went to a documentary about this particular culture and their history and the traditions and all of that, that would be different. Like,
Wait, does this shit actually happen though?
I don't fucking know, man.
No, it definitely does not. No, no. Speaking to a Swedish guy, he took super offense of this movie.
Well, good. Because so did the rest of us that aren't Swedish.
Don't worry, Ari Aster is getting blasted by the Swedish community.
I understand taking inspiration for horror suspense from, scary past practices, or kind of like, cultures or religions that may have darker sides to them, or could have darker sides to them, that aren't necessarily based on reality, but, are just a version of what if this happened. Like, that part isn't what gets me. The part that gets me is just like, it's so deeply obsessed with a culture when that's not what the movie's really about, right? Like, that's not what the audience is here for. We're here for the suspense and horror elements, and, like, this is the longest, most boring suspense that ever existed. Like, I don't know how you could stay on the edge of your seat during this at all. So,
I mean, how did you like Hereditary in comparison? I'm going to make a point. Yeah, I want to talk about something real quick.
Oh, go ahead, by all means.
Being that they're both Ari Aster movies, and they both have like this community / cultural thing to both of them. One being, the Swedish culture in this village, and the other one being a cult. Like, you're saying that, for Hereditary, at least that cult thing, would you say it's like it's still shrouded in mystery, but it led to the drive of the movie going forward, rather than Midsommar being a story where it's just a culture and, like, okay, where's the horror element that this movie is marketed as? Is that kind of what? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, and I also feel like you hit a really good point when you said, I feel like a part of it is, and this is just horror in general as a genre, is like the stuff we don't know, right? Like, if you show the audience too much, then it loses tension, and it can take away the fear of what the audience's imagination can create, which is just greater, right? Like, more, I guess, when you leave room for imagination, the audience becomes more personalized. Like, their fear are the things that they don't see but hear, and they think they can imagine in their head, and it becomes more personal to them, like what they imagine is the scariest version. And this film, like, it just provides so much information in a really long and slow way.
I think you're on the money with what you said about, like, showing too much versus showing because when I was watching Midsommar and there was those long fucking dragged out moments, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's gonna get worse. But then when we get to the end, when we finally get through it all, I was like, oh, that's all they did. It's not
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Like.
Yeah,
what
you're
I've been
definitely
waiting
right. That yeah, like whatever I was thinking in my head was a lot horrifying and grotesque than what was presented on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like the payoff wasn't there.
Yeah, and I feel like, so this scene that we're reading in particular is, I'd say, reminiscent, if you haven't seen Hereditary, spoilers, I feel like it's reminiscent to the scene where the younger sister loses her head, right? Like, it's just this very grotesquely violent sequence that feels like it comes out of the blue, and then you're expecting, as the audience, you're like, okay, shit's hitting the fan now. Things are about to get, like, really intense. And Hereditary, it did, right? Like, from that point on, scenes got even more eerie and even more intense and even more suspenseful. And for this movie, complete opposite. It's like something really crazy happened, and it was gross and disturbing, and you were expecting the movie to take a swift turn, and it didn't.
Yeah. It was like not until the very end until it got really intense again.
Yeah. But it's like, can you expect your audience to wait that long? I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I'll say it. I'm not that audience member. I'm not waiting that long. Ashley says, "How far into the movie is this scene, meow?"
Hey, we're like on like page around 50 something, 54. This is like halfway through the movie if we're looking at the script. Jeez, because of the pacing, it felt like I thought this scene was like towards the beginning.
Thought it was like mid-ish.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so let's watch the scene and get this over with.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Like, I don't know. I feel like my eyes are just gonna glaze over watching this. Like, it's just like the first thing that you learn in film where it's like, don't show the guy getting out of his car or turning off his car, getting out, grabbing the groceries, going to the door, setting the groceries down. Like, I don't know, get to the fucking point where, like, this is like, it's so, like, an intense moment, and then, like, he just falls and, like, nothing really happens. I don't know. Like, I get that it's art, it's not my thing.
Art is such a
I'm
big
gonna be the
term.
exact opposite. I'm gonna be the opposite, Graham.
Alright, let's hear it.
I think the scene's neat. I think it's neato. Oh, like general, that scene is nice. It's for my issue with Midsommar is everything else in terms of pacing. Because like for that scene, sure there are like little bits in here and there that I don't really care for. But to me, I think it's still a powerful scene, and the sound design of someone falling and nothing happening, and it's just death, and no one's really reacting until, besides the outsiders, they react, and to me, I like that contrast. But
Ashley has a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
She said, "I'm not gonna lie, I'm so lost in the script in this scene, meow meow." Which, Ashley, you're not lost, trust me. Even if you watched it, you'd feel exactly the same. But wait, Graham, I thought you liked this movie, meow.
No, I liked Hereditary. Like, I didn't dislike this movie. I just think it's way too slow. Like, I watched it once. That was enough. I'm never gonna watch it again. Yeah, I wanted to, like, the entire movie, I was like, get on with it. Come on, hurry up. So, I don't know.
I thought that the first, that introductory sequence with her when she finds out about her family, or, well, her sister, yeah, her family.
Yeah, her family.
Yeah, that was good. Like, that's the part that sucks is it's like, it starts off, and right off the bat, like, it's pretty, I mean, at the beginning, it's really intense, it's really good, like, you establish like this terrible, horrible thing that happened. It's really tastefully done and presented. Like they don't show too much, but just enough. And then you find out that she's in this relationship that's kind of shitty with this guy who like doesn't really love her anymore, and he's only hanging out with her because he feels sorry for her, which is like every girl's worst nightmare ever. And it's like you empathize with her character immediately, and you just, I think it starts out so strong that that's what makes the rest of the movie like feel so disappointing.
There are some really good scenes in this, like the scene where the girl like does suicide or commits suicide, and then her parents are killed. Like there's a bunch of really cool scenes like that, but it's the rest of the movie that the in-betweens that just make it way too slow.
Yeah, I mean, Nero, I get what you're saying, though, that, like, again, this scene for me felt like I was expecting it to be a major turning point because it did up the intensity, it did something really disturbing and disgusting, and we're watching from Danny's perspective, and the actress who plays Danny, God, I wish I knew her name off the top of my head. Yeah, but she's amazing. I mean, I watched her, I mean, in
Florence
Little Women,
Pogue.
she was phenomenal. Yeah. In Little Women, she was phenomenal. In this movie, she's great. Like, I watch her reaction in the scene, and I feel like what you love about her is, like, her lack of reaction, like how numb she is in this moment, watching something so severe. And then, moreover, her having this out-of-body experience, watching this other couple who are, like, freaking the fuck out, and she can't muster up whatever they're feeling to speak out or say something.
Well, would you say that maybe the reason she is like kind of numb is that her friends in the Western world kind of alienated her for being so overreactive? I mean, she reacted appropriately for the death of her family, but no one really like cared for that. They were just like, ugh. You know, or whatever, you know, let's not bring her on this trip. She's going to be a bore. But her seeing, buzzkill. But her seeing how the village itself, when the old man was suffering because he didn't instantly die, how everyone kind of like mirrored what he was feeling, which is that pain. Like they didn't like the villagers didn't react until the person was showing pain. When the first person fell, it was quick, nothing happened, and they just like stood there. It was like, because like, oh, okay, so that's how it's supposed to be done. But them to share that grief when the older man dies, because we can hear it and we can see that he's in pain, and then for Danny to see that, I was like, oh, look how they're sharing their emotions and stuff. See, that's why I like this scene, and that's why I can't totally hate that movie. I can't hate Midsommar. I agree that it's slow, and I probably won't watch it again, but I will probably refer to it for notes and just for style. Yeah. If anything, it's it's styled.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there are a lot of things I like about this scene and the introductory scene, and even the character scenarios and development, right? Like, I understand and respect, like, I appreciate, like, this whole dynamic we're put into with Danny's relationship with, and I don't remember her male partner's name. Do you guys? Because I don't.
Asshole.
Yeah, right. Like, piece of shit. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, and I'm with you on that. But I just think,
it's Christian. Sorry.
Christian. Yeah, they're set up in this plot, like, and again, he is a piece of shit. I feel you. I do hear that. But it's kind of like I have this sense of empathy for, like, the reality of it not being black and white. Like, there is a complexity here because the story starts off and we immediately introduce, like, they're at the edge of a breakup. Like, they're already in an unhappy relationship from the point that we meet them. It's obvious that she in the beginning is kind of obligating him to be in something more serious, and he seems to be a little detached and wanting to, have something more casual. And then they're plunged even deeper into this commitment when her family dies, because now he has this obligation to take care of her because she can't take care of herself. And I think that his friends are assholes But I think that they also acknowledge that she's like leeching onto him like a parasite. Like she just needs anyone to care for her right now, and he was just the closest object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do think that there is good storytelling and good writing to this film. It just doesn't make up for how fucking boring it is.
And how the script itself translates the story not so well, with redundancies and it being boring. It's even super boring because we don't have like everything else that added to the visuals of it. But I'm talking about like the sound at the beginning of the clip was pretty cool, right? The eerie music soundtrack or whatever.
Yeah, even like the design of having, when she's listening to the argument that's going on, it's all in the background. Like in the script, the dialogue is in there, but none of the dialogue is relevant because you can't hear it.
Right.
Like it could have just been one line that said, you know, in the distance from, you know, Danny's perspective, she's staring at Simon and whoever, I don't remember, Connie and Simon, who are yelling at Inger incoherently, right? Like it could have been a one sentence thing, but instead he drags it out, puts a bunch of dialogue in there that we don't even fucking hear.
I also like I try to be better at like paying attention to everything else besides the main character reacting, just for the fun of it, just for my joy, because like seeing Danny, who is like the subject of the frame, like looking over at the couple, and Christian and his other friend are there kind of like acting in quotation marks. I like watching them because it looks so like unrealistic if you're not paying attention to Danny or paying attention to them. To me, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, I hear you.
We watched the scene again.
The actor who plays Christian like really pulls off the whole bro thing. Like
yeah. Oh, bro.
Yeah, like in this moment too, like you'd imagine that's his dialogue. Like he's like, "Oh, dude, like look at that." you just watched a person commit suicide,
it's like you saw
like, super violently.
Why? Like why?
It's like you saw a giraffe for the first time.
Sorry, Nero.
Well, are you talking about the villagers or the?
No,
are you talking about the villagers or the guests?
The guests. I would be sprinting the hell out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would have hauled ass.
Yeah, I would have like, the fuck?
I probably would have puked, which I think one of their friends does vomit.
Yeah.
And that was like the most realistic reaction to me in this scenario. Again, like I buy Danny's reaction just fine. Like she does a great job, but I'm with you. Like I'm surprised nobody in the scenario like just left.
Anyway, that was Midsommar.
Yeah, it was.
And so we feel like the script could be better, and the whole movie should be paced better.
I think we could totally take all of the footage from Midsommar and make a condensed version and actually enjoy it.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Ooh. Oh hey, does Catgirl have some? No, dude. Did you know there is a director's cut for Midsommar?
It's longer.
It's 171 minutes.
Ashley says, "Not a fan, meow."
Thanks, Catgirl.
You know, I wonder how she felt about the thing is when you're watching the movie, it is super slow paced. So I'd like to know how she felt about the nature of the violence in this scene.
I mean, the effects are pretty cool.
She says, "Gross, meow." Yeah, I mean when the woman falls and her face just like shreds off of her body, yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
I feel like that's definitely an Ari Aster, like that's his style, especially with Hereditary.
Yeah, I could see that.
I forgot who's the one who told me, but he's like I think it was Graham. He's gonna start writing rom-coms now.
Ari
he told
Aster
me
is?
that Ari Aster, yeah, he's gonna start writing rom-coms after kind of like building himself up as this horror director. He's gonna he's gonna start doing rom-coms now. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Go
so
make
we
that
should
rom-com,
definitely
right?
read those. Meanwhile, some diehard Midsommar fans are like freaking out.
Ooh, like sending us all the hate mail.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Yay, they listened.
Yeah, this is a pretty critically acclaimed movie, right? Like I'm pretty sure that it was very well received.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people have very mixed opinions about it. I wonder what its Rotten Tomatoes are.
It's 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. I already beat you to it, bro. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, what do people like about this? Like, that's almost what I need. Like, if you're a fan of Midsommar in the least hateful way possible, could you please explain it to me? Because clearly I don't get it.
Hey, hold on. I just found the article, and it says Ari Aster says his next movie will be a 4-hour nightmare comedy.
What
Jeez.
the fuck does that mean?
It's
Like,
just
it's a nightmare
Midsommar
to
played
have
on
to
a
watch
loop.
it? Yeah,
And slowed down 10%.
Ashley says, no thanks, meow.
All right, well, that was Midsommar by Ari Aster, our favorite director and writer, and we'll catch you next time.